Very warm welcome, everyone, to Personal Growth Leaders Advanced Toastmasters International Online Club. Our meeting number is 218. And in terms of our club mission, it is a standard club mission that's across the world for all the Toastmasters Club. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which our members are empowered to enhance their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence, personal growth, and achievement of their personal and Toastmasters goal, and also of our personal growth leaders, Advanced Toastmasters International Online Club. The theme of our meeting today is the power of speaking. It's quite an interesting theme that we have. Something that we take it for granted on a day-to-day basis is the words that we use and how we communicate with others. That's where the power of speaking comes into picture. Sometimes they say that if speech is silver, then silence is golden. What exactly does that mean? There is one philosopher who said that if what you're going to say is not truthful or kind or helping someone, then it's better not to say that thing. It's better to be silent, and it's better to listen to what others want to say. And this actually conveys a great meaning there, because whatever words we are putting inside the environment, outside to the people, it has certain impact which we can never imagine. And that's why it is so important that whenever we are doing any kind of action, not only speaking, any action that we do it with great responsibility. And therefore that response word is quite important as well. For example, the natural reaction that someone might give might be a knee-jerk reaction to something someone says. But if we take time, if we try and understand the other person's perspective, and then we talk with calmness, with an understanding of the other person, then it actually becomes a response. It is not a reaction. And it's interesting, the word responsibility and response, they are really interrelated with each other. So we could either react or we could respond. And when we respond with responsibility, because we are sure that what I am going to say is going to help another person. It's going to bring the other person to the next level. And therefore, the power of speaking is something that sometimes can be seen as something that is so common that we forget how powerful it is. So with that, I would like to start this meeting. In terms of how we do it is we call it the pie. The first is the prepared speeches, then we have the impromptu section, and then in the end, we have the evaluation section. So these are the three different sections we have within the 1 hour of our meeting. And we meet every Saturday for 1 hour. So it's a very short and sweet meeting, and we meet every week as well. So it's a little bit different from your standard other Toastmasters club, which might have 2 hours meetings, and possibly they might meet every fortnight or something like that. So this is probably our USP, if you want to say USP of unique selling proposition of personal growth leaders. And we are all interested in personal growth in terms of all the members here. So with that, I would like to invite our first speaker. Just so that we are clear of the roles, I would just ask, Kaushal, are you fine then, is it, to do the speech evaluation for Anvita?
Yes.
Okay, thanks for that, Kaushal. And we have the second speech. Ahmed, are you there?
Yes, dear, I'm here.
Would you be fine? Gavin is doing 100 speeches in 100 clubs across the world. to celebrate the centenary celebration of Toastmasters International. So, and I know you are a district champion in terms of evaluation. So I think it'll be great for Gavin, I would say, that if you're able to evaluate him. Would that be fine, Ahmed?
Absolutely fine. All the best, Gavin.
Thank you very much. And in terms of the timing aspect, would there be anyone who can help with that?
I'm happy to do timing.
Thank you very
I
much,
was down
Thanks for your help.
for grammarian as well. Are you happy with me taking both roles and just doing the best at multitasking?
Yeah, it'll be appreciated, highly appreciated, Tommy. Thank you so much for stepping up. Thank you. So, do you have a word for us for the meeting, Tommy?
Yes. So yeah, as grammarian, it is my duty to give a word of the day as well as pick up on all the fabulous and not so fabulous things that people say. The word of the day today is myopic, which is lacking foresight. So an example of the word myopic being used may be the man's outlook on life was myopic. He only thought about himself. And I shall stick a background on which says myopic. Is that the right way round?
Yes.
It looks the opposite way on my screen, you see. So there we are, myopic.
It looks correct.
Great.
Thank you very much, Tommy. Huge round of applause to Tommy for helping us not only with grammarian, but also with timer today. Thank you. So now I would like to invite our first speaker. The evaluation would be done by Kaushal. This is the speech from Presentation Mastery, Writing a Speech with Purpose, 5 to 7 minute speech. And the title of this speech is Book Review, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Book Review, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Anvita Hegde.
Have you ever wondered what separates highly successful individuals from the rest? Is it luck? Talent? Maybe. Good day, Toastmasters and guests. According to Napoleon Hill, the answer lies in the power of our mind and our ability to set clear goals, visualize, and persevere relentlessly. Today, I'll review a book called as Think and Grow Rich, written by Napoleon Hill, published in 1937. This book contains 13 principles, which will help us acquire wealth, personal growth, and happiness. We will learn how not to be myopic from his book. He has come up with these 13 principles after studying over 500 successful individuals, including Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie, and Thomas Alva Edison. The book is based on the fundamental idea that desire is the starting point of success. This is the first principle. To be successful, we shouldn't just say, I wish to be successful. I hope I grow big in life. No. Just wishing is not enough. We should have a deep, passionate desire which will fuel our actions. Think about it. What are all the goals in your life? How committed are you towards all your goals? If you don't have a strong desire towards all your goals, even if it is very simple, it will be unreachable for you. The second principle is faith. If you think you can, you can. Otherwise, you definitely cannot. Faith is just a state of our mind, which can be cultivated by affirmation as well as visualization. Consider successful athletes who perform well under pressure. Just before their competition, they don't say, I wish I win that gold medal. I hope my team wins that trophy. but instead, they visualize themselves standing on the podium, accepting that gold medal or that team trophy. They go through all those emotions, which will help them take an appropriate action. They'll get their results. The third principle is autosuggestion. Hill says that our subconscious mind is very powerful, but it has to be directed. How can we do that? By using autosuggestions, that is, by self talk and constant repetition. For example, if you want to overcome stage fear in Toastmasters, before you come on the stage, tell yourself, I have a powerful message to deliver today. I will speak confidently. Eventually, you will become a successful speaker. The fourth principle is specialized knowledge. Just acquiring knowledge is not enough. Information is just a click away. You should know how, where, and when to apply this knowledge. You have to gather information which will help you fulfill your desires. Now, if I want to become a scientist, I shouldn't study history or geography. I should study science. Even in that, I shouldn't just memorize all the formulas. I should know how to use the science which I have learned to create something or do something which will contribute towards the society. The fifth principle is imagination. Hill says that imagination is our greatest asset. Using imagination, we can create new ideas, come up with innovative solutions, and we can create new opportunities for us and for others as well. The next few principles speak about planning, decision making, and perseverance. Success is not immediate, it is long term. That is why we should have a plan. Hill says that perseverance, patience, and perspiration is an unbeatable combination or success. Because perseverance will help us move past any obstacles we may face on our path of success. Also, we should be a firm and resolute decision maker. Because if we keep changing our decisions, our goals may also change. We will never accomplish any goal. That is why think through, take a concrete decision, and follow through. The last principle is called as the mastermind principle. We have to surround ourselves with like-minded individuals. The book calls it the mastermind group. Because alone it may be difficult for us to be successful, but together we can tap into our collective knowledge, skills, as well as resources. That's why in Toastmasters, like-minded individuals come together to become better communicators, leaders, and for personal growth. The book Think and Grow Rich is not just about money. It is about cultivating the mindset to be successful in life. By setting clear goals, having clarity, and believing in yourself, we can become successful. Ask yourself, what are my desires? How can I fulfill all my desires? Then apply the principles of this book to be successful. Back to DTM Somesh.
A round of applause to Amita for a great synopsis of Think and Grow Rich book by Napoleon Hill. It's a voluminous book, and to talk about this huge book within 5 to 7 minutes is itself a great challenge. And well done, Anvita, on conveying the gist of the whole book in such a short time. Now we'll go to the next speech And it's a privilege that we have Gavin Lamb with us here today, all the way from New Zealand. And he is on a wonderful project, which is making 100 speeches in 100 different clubs across the world to celebrate Toastmasters' 100th anniversary. So it's really great that Gavin has contacted us to be one of the 100 clubs that he's going to speak in. So thank you, Gavin, for coming in here. And I had asked Gavin about the pathways that he's chosen, that is team collaboration, and he's doing a level 2 understanding your leadership style 5 to 7 minute speech. His project title is 100 and 100, My TM Journey. Just a small introduction about Gavin. Gavin Lamb lives near Whangarei, New Zealand, which is 2.5 hours north of Auckland. He's doing 100 speeches in 100 different clubs as part of his recognition of the centennial year of Toastmasters International. So with a speech entitled 100 in 100, My TM Journey, Gavin Lamb.
I am sure that you have all experienced the situation where you've had an idea that has had people looking at you sideways, wondering whether you've lost the plot or maybe you're just a bit cuckoo. I had such an idea. Now, with this being an advanced club, I am sure you have experienced this. You have a sudden pop, bright like the cartoons, the light bulb above the head. Now, not all of these mad ideas are followed through. Perhaps I would never have started this project if I had known how difficult it was to knock on the door and get into clubs. I was indeed myopic when I set out on this project. I thought the difficult part was going to be giving the speeches. How wrong was I? Toastmaster, my fellow Toastmasters and fellow guests. As time goes on, as we travel our Toastmasters journey, it is occasionally a good opportunity to look back and see where we have come from. There I was, hiding away in the corner, putting up barriers, popping up long enough to say hello before disappearing behind my barriers again, my safety net. When I first joined Toastmasters, my knees were tapping out Morse code as I gave my icebreaker speech. Now I am journeying around the world, giving speeches at 100 clubs for a simple idea to mark the 100th centennial of Toastmasters International. Many of us will have seen it either in ourselves or in others as we grow personally and in our leadership. It was always my way to be in the background, to put others in front of me and do the work myself because it was easier than trying to deal with others and politics. Inter-club reactions or negotiations on what is going to be done and who is going to be responsible for each part. Now I find myself on this journey, which is individual, which is putting me at the front, in the spotlight. Personal growth is such an adventure, but I'm sure many of you have seen this yourselves. You get to a point where the focus changing from growth in ourselves to growth in others, and seeing how we can make a difference in others' Toastmasters journey and life outside of Toastmasters. Leadership can be so rewarding. It can be frustrating at times, but it can also give you the warm fuzzies. As we journey, we hit milestones. 25 speeches, 50 speeches, and we hit obstacles. We hit hurdles. The question is not what are these hurdles, but how are we going to utilize both our Toastmasters skills and those around us to overcome those obstacles, to come up with a solution to the problem. Many of us have seen these obstacles suddenly melt away as a member of the team has that bright idea, has that idea that makes everything look so much brighter, so much easier, and helps you pick yourself up as you sit on the floor with the mopey dopes, feeling sorry for yourself, watching your target stretch further and further away from you. It is then we need to pull together, both within our clubs and internationally, such as your club making the exception to allow me to speak at your club. It is through the international fellowship of the clubs that Toastmasters has grown to around 126 districts. That was actually the original target, 100 speeches in 100 districts. But that was turned out to be too myopic. The power of speaking can only go so far, particularly when they don't all speak English. Now the question comes, as we set ourselves up as leaders to inspire, to help others grow, what difference will you make, Mr. Toastmaster?
Huge round of applause to Gavin for a really motivating speech. Definitely, it is not a myopic idea to do this 100 speeches in 100 different clubs across the world. It's definitely a grand idea, and congratulations on embarking on this path and reaching so far. And our best wishes for your completion of 100 speeches. Now we go to the next part of our session, which is the impromptu speaking. And we have got Sabaria there who will lead us with different set of topics to different members and guests. Thank you very much, Sabaria. Over to you.
Most welcome. Thank you very much, Somesh, the Toastmasters of the evening. Should I say distinguished Toastmasters, Somesh? Right. Okay, now we are into impromptu speaking, which is speaking without prior preparation. It is called table topic, as we all know in Toastmasters. Well, now without my pick, I'm going to start the ball rolling. Well, powerful speaking is about speeches, right? Well, I know speech is power. Have you heard that speech is also to persuade, to convert, and to compound? And with that, let's start our first topic. I would like to invite anyone to start, to volunteer. Do you have anybody to volunteer? Tommy, I'm calling on you because you're smiling. Okay, so we should
I'm just
I
being
volunteer.
friendly. Thank you, Sabria.
Yeah. Righty, Tommy, I would like to, yeah, it's about speaking and it's about being silent. Okay, now this is from Martin Tupper. He says that well-timed silence hath more eloquency than speech. Shall I repeat that? Well-timed silence hath more eloquency than speech. Tommy, are you okay with that? All yours.
Yes, I'm okay with that. Yes, fabulous.
Okay. You're also the timer,
well,
am I right?
I'm the timer as well. I'm happy to go for it. I won't change the screens, but I'll keep track of how long I speak for.
You don't have, okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, all
Thank
yours.
you. Thank you, Sabaria. Well-timed silence has more eloquency than speech. I'd have to agree. I have a saying that I must remind myself sometimes: silence sounds strongest. Sometimes silence is so much stronger than the gobbledygook that we come out with to try and fill gaps in speech. If you're having a conversation with someone and they walk away knowing that 10% of what you said was high quality, they're going to think that you're someone that is 10% quality. If you speak to them and speak in 100% quality but half as much quantity, they're going to walk away thinking that you're 100% quality. So I think that's a representation of how important silence is when it's in comparison to gobbledygook. But we are naturally anxious animals. We don't want to come across as if we don't know what to say. And often silence means that, well, maybe you don't know what to say. But it's okay to pass over the microphone sometimes and let someone else speak. And use your ears instead of your mouth. And by being silent, maybe learn about other people around you and make sure that what you do say is impactful and important. So people don't walk away from that conversation thinking, maybe they don't know what they're speaking about. But from my advice, from me to you, silence sounds strongest. Don't be worried about leaving a bit of time between your words, not saying your ums and ahs. It's okay. Say things that are important and impactful, and the people that listen to you will think you are 100% quality. Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy. Oh, yeah, I can't agree more with you that silent can sound much stronger than speaking. And I like what you said about using our ears more than our mouth. Fantastic. Now, that reminds me of another great topic, which is also about silent and also about speaking. Who shall come in next? Can I have someone? Gavin, I would like to call upon you, our guest of visiting Toastmasters. Would you like to take the next topic?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Now you're speaking 100 for 100 speeches in 100 districts. So this is good. Okay. Right. Gavin, it's related to what Tommy has shared. It's about light, sound, and also silence. Now, this is from Albert Einstein. Oh, wow. Great Albert Einstein. He says that light travels faster than sound. That's why certain people appear bright until you hear they speak. Shall I repeat that, Gavin?
No, that's
Light.
fine.
Yeah, okay, guys, take it over. Yeah, all yours.
Thank you. We have Mr. Einstein comes up with some great sayings, some great quotes. Now, some quote his saying about everyone thought it was impossible until some fool did it, or something to that effect. How much of that light traveling faster than sound shone on those saying it couldn't be done? How many of those people were up front, respected scientists, politicians, Nobel Prize winners? And who were the idiots? Joe Bloggs? Maybe Joe deserved more respect and more encouragement and support to shine some light on him as it travels faster than his speech. There are certain politicians who should bear this in mind and moderate what they have to say. For sometimes silence is better in the bright light than gobbledygook or jibber jabber. So while light travels faster than sound, without sound, we would all be mute. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gavin. Yes, without sound, you all will be mute. Wow, that should be taken into account when politician speaks, am I right? Good. Now we're going to go to the next topic, which is also related to our second topic. I would like to call upon Kashal. Are you ready? Are you doing double? Okay, yeah, okay. To take on the next topic? Great. Distinguished Masters Kashal. Okay, it is about speakers. We are talking about speeches today, so it's speakers. And I know you're one great speaker, Kashal. I always love your speech. So now I would like you to share about this. It is from Dale Carnegie, another great writer and speakers and motivator. He says that speakers who talk about their life, what their life has taught them, never fail to keep the attention of their listener. Shall I say that? Speaker who talk about what, yeah, you got that, right? Okay, all yours. Kasha.
Thank you, Madam Topic Master and fellow Toastmasters. I believe from what you said, Madam Topic Master, Dale Carnegie is saying that the best way to capture your audience is to talk about yourself. And I think that is a lesson that I am struggling to learn because I don't enjoy talking about myself. I'm a private person. I don't really like to reveal personal details about myself. And this has been an obstacle for me in speaking. I find I sometimes enter speech contests. I do well up to a certain point, but then I always get beaten by those who are able to open up and relate their own lives to the audience. Those people do a much better job of connecting with the audience than I do. So I don't know what hesitancy there is on me. Maybe it's a myopic fear that by saying too much of myself, I will put myself at a disadvantage. But I think I have to do what truly great speakers can do, and that is to be vulnerable, to open yourself to the audience, and then that way they will open themselves to you, and communication will be stronger and more fruitful that way. Madam Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Kashal. I can understand you completely because that's what I went through. That fear, you have to take away that myopic feelings because in the end, I realized that when I speak about myself, it's not talking about yourself, but it's rather what lesson can you teach? Can you share about what happened to you in your life? So I overcome that. Then I think that you should try that, Kashal. Right? Okay, thank you for your sharing. That's great. I think I don't have enough time for another topic. So with that, I would like to hand over to the Toastmasters of the day, DTM Somish. Take it over, Tomish. Thank you so much.
Huge round of applause to Sabaria for a great set of topics and involving most of us here. Thank you so much, Sabaria.
Welcome.
Now we come to the last part of our meeting, which is the evaluation section. As I say, feedback is the breakfast of champions. And we are all in the journey of becoming the better version of ourselves. And that is what the real championship is all about. It's not about contesting with another person, but it's becoming better version of our own selves. And through the feedback that we receive in the evaluation, this is what helps us to make us a better version of ourselves. And to that extent, I would like to invite our general evaluator, Kaushal Gupta, to lead the evaluation section. Over to you, Kaushal.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. For the evaluation part of this meeting, I will begin by asking our evaluation speakers to speak. I will first evaluate Anvita's speech, and then Ahmed will evaluate Gavin's speech. We'll follow that with Tommy's reports on timing and grammar. I will then follow up with my general evaluation of the meeting. I'll first begin with my evaluation of Anvita's speech. Anvita, I liked how you began your speech with a question. What separates the successful people from the rest? And then you gave it the answer, which was, it's not so much about special knowledge or money, but it's about emotions and being able to use those emotions as drivers. I liked how you gave some background of the book when it was written, which gives us some important context of it. You mentioned that it talks about 13 principles and studies over 500 successful people. And then you recited some of those principles, such as it is not merely a wishful thinking that brings us success, but passionate desire, which is the necessary driver. You used hand gestures and vocal variety to good effect. I believe you were sitting down, so standing up might have been help you your gestures more effectively, but I know that that comes out as a trade-off. Then we won't be able to hear you as well. And another thing I might have liked is I would like, because this book is so well known, I would like some more background on the book and its author. You did a good job in telling us some of the principles, but maybe with a fewer principles and more about the background of the book, because it is so influential. Some history about the book and its speaker, the influence that it's had. Maybe if you know some famous people who are living right now who have read the book, you could tell us about that. You could tell us about the effect that the book had on you as well. I think that would have enhanced your speech, and you could have given a few less principles and more about that background and perhaps a personal history for you in regard to the book. But thank you for telling us about this book and some of its principles. I've heard of it, but I've not really known what it says until your speech, and the book, and you've shown that the book does a good job of showing that focusing on just our wishes is myopic. We have to be driven by desire and a vision. All right. So that is my evaluation of Anvita's speech. I would now like to ask Ahmed to please provide his evaluation of Gavin Lamb's speech.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and our target speaker, Toastmaster Gavin. First of all, let me preface my evaluation by thanking you for such a profound task to give this speech in 100 different clubs. This is a very tall commitment that shows your class and your commitment towards public speaking and personal growth. And with this in mind, if you allow me to go through the speech and give you two small points of improvement that can help you for the next journey of 100 speeches. So speeches that are personal, that talk about personal challenges, that inspire people to become better and to become stronger speakers, are always preferred in Toastmasters. They are the perfect brand image that we like to convey as speakers in Toastmasters. And your speech, Toastmaster Gavin, was an example of how Toastmasters can really change people's lives and really set them on a course to become better people and better speakers. The format of the speech was quite simple. You didn't waste any time talking about different tangents in the speech. It's a perfect purpose, challenge, and impact on your target audience. So the format, the structure is quite simple and straightforward. You even had small delivery tips and techniques that really helped speaking from a screen, such as standing while speaking, and even adding some visual aids like the small umbrella on the side that really conveyed a nice sense of a purpose, of a feeling that you had during that time. So this is what Toastmasters is all about, to give people like Gavin, like ourselves, a chance to improve upon the lives of other people. At the same time, becomes a challenge for you as a speaker, Toastmaster Gavin, because you're going to repeat the same speech in 100 different clubs. So there's a big chance that the speech will face two important obstacles. The first one, it might sound a little bit robotic and preachy if you go on the same format again and again. So it's your challenge to find different angles to reach to the same point. To give you an example, so the speech format, as simple as it is, we need to find different angles where the speech changed you to become a better speaker. It could be an instant, it could be a scene, it could be a feeling, it could be someone else who helped you. So that fine angle that you can address and change it a little bit, tweak it between each speech you're giving for the next number of club meetings. The second point of improvement is, I know it's quite tough when you speak in front of a screen, but I would guess that when we give speeches that are formulaic, that they follow a certain format, we might go into the chance of becoming a little bit monotonous in the voice. So might be aware of some vocal variety in certain aspects of your speech, especially in the areas where it counts. Otherwise, this is a wonderful journey, and I wish you all the best of luck in your next speeches. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Ahmed. Somesh mentioned that you are a champion evaluator, and now I can see why. I really like your direct and detailed evaluation style. I would now like to ask Tommy to please provide his timing and grammarian reports.
Hello again. Yeah, so I have been double hatting it today as grammarian and as timer, and I've actually managed to do it without getting too flustered, which I expected I would have done. So pat on the back for myself today for being able to do that. I've got about 4 different screens on one screen here, so apologies if my eyes have been darting throughout. Anyway, cut to the chase, the exciting stuff. I have been keeping track of all of the good words that you've been using today and all of the times as you've been speaking. Let's crack on with the words for now. Now, we have the word of the day, myopic. I've seen some fabulous uses of that. And Vita came in once, Gavin came in twice, Somesh once, Sabria twice, and Kaushal twice. I'm sorry if I missed anyone else there, but thank you for squeezing that word of the day in. Otherwise, I've been looking out for good use of language. I've not got any bad use of language today. It's a positive day. It's a Saturday. So good use of language today. And Vita used the words acquiring, principle, and used some alliteration at one point and used the word mastermind. I liked Gavin, fabulous wordage today. Cuckoo, pop was a good word, which was onomatopoeic. You used rhetorical devices using the terms knees tapping out Morse code and in the spotlight. I like the phrase mopey dopes. I've never heard that one before. That got my attention. And also jibber jabber is a fun one. Samesh used the word gist, which I liked. Ahmed, you used the words profound, formulaic, and monotonous, which are very impressive words to be using and made you come across as a very reputable source of information. On to the timings. I shall crack through them very quickly and then put them in the chat afterwards. Everyone was perfectly in time today, so double thumbs up for that. Speech 1 with Anvita came in with 7 minutes and 14 seconds. Speech 2 with Gavin, 7 minutes and 29 seconds. On to the table topics. I was first. Tommy, 1 minute 58. Gavin, 1 minute 50. Kaushal, 1 minute 30. And then finally with the evaluations, Kaushal came in with 3 minutes and 9 seconds and Ahmed with 3 minutes and 19 seconds. Thank you very much for listening to my TED Talk. Back over to you, Kaushal.
Excellent job, Tommy. Thank you for taking on both of those roles. That is not easy to do, but you really came through and gave us very detailed reports that gave helpful feedback to everybody. I will now conclude with my general evaluation of the meeting. We did start the meeting with one meeting role open, but eventually through the spirit of volunteerism and people taking on multiple roles, we got the agenda filled. So I really appreciate that. I liked how Samesh began with the theme of the power of speaking and saying, if speech is silver, then silence is golden. And mentioning that the words we say have great impact on others. So we have a responsibility for making sure that we improve how we say our words, because we have a responsibility for the impact that those words have on others. I love that we had 2 excellent speakers, not just Anvita, but our special guest speaker, Gavin, on his 100 speech journey. It was exciting to be a part of that. And we had very good table topics. I wish we had the time for more. And my evaluation team did a nice job as well. So it shows that even when we were struggling to fill the agenda at the beginning, we eventually came through because of the Toastmaster spirit and had a great meeting. So I'd like to turn the meeting back over to our Toastmaster of the day, Somesh, please.
Thank you very much, DTM Kaushal, for a great running of the general evaluation section and also your own evaluation, and huge round of applause to Tommy as well for doing grammarian and timer role together, multitasking, but at the same time doing it to perfection. It's not easy. So well done, Tommy. You're doing really great, and thanks for joining our club. It's an advanced club and you actually show advanced skills here. So yeah, we are really glad that you're part of this club. And of course, thanks to Gavin for being part of this meeting. 218th meeting of Personal Growth Leaders Advanced International Toastmasters Online Club. It's really great to have you, Gavin, and congratulations on the journey that you're embarking on. There is a quote that I wanted to end this meeting with. It says that the success of our presentation will be judged not by the knowledge we send, but by what the listener receives. Quite an interesting one. The success of our presentation will be judged not by the knowledge we send, but by what the listener receives. And it's really difficult to understand this because we think that we are sending a particular type of knowledge to our audience. But what is the audience actually receiving? Are they receiving what we are intending to send, or are they receiving something else? It's not easy. And that's why communication is extremely difficult aspect in terms of getting it right. And they say that the words just account for very nominal percentage. As I remember, I think it is just 7%. if you look at the amount of information that we are sending to others, there is a 38, 7, and the rest, whatever it is. So 55, right? So 55% of what we say is through our body language. 38% is through the tone of our voice. And then 7% is actually the words that we speak. Right? So it's quite amazing. This is a survey that people have done, and it has passed the test of time. And so it's really amazing that communication is not just words. Of course, words are extremely important. For example, if someone unfortunately are deaf or dumb, even they are able to communicate, right? They're not using words, but they're able to communicate. And that's why it's really important that when we are communicating, we communicate through our heart. And when we do that, the audience will receive it in their heart. And then a connection gets established between the two hearts. And that's what real communication is all about. So with this, I would like to end this meeting. We still have 8 minutes time. So in case anyone wants to speak about anything, we still have some time. Anyone wants to talk or inform how they felt about the meeting today? No?
How about
I
yes?
I had a question for Gavin. I was wondering what has been the most unusual unusual experience you've had giving these 100 speeches so far.
Well, I would say unusual as unexpected that took me by surprise. And that was actually getting into the clubs. I naively thought it was going to be simple. Contact Toastmasters International and get them to send out a email or communication. Okay, that didn't work. They say some of the information I want wasn't even collected, and some of it's been lost through the digitalization and Y2K. And the number of emails going through Find a Club, the number of emails that are returned as undeliverable, all were left me quite startled.
Okay, that is good to know. Yeah, a lot of clubs need to do a better job updating their information.
Indeed.
And does Toastmasters International know about your 100 speech project?
Yeah. I
Good.
was communicating back and forth back in September before I really started getting into it to make sure there wasn't going to be any issues or anything.
Okay. Maybe you'll write an article for the Toastmaster magazine when it's all done.
Who knows?
That'd be good if you could. Everyone ought to know about it. Okay, thank you.
Perhaps I could also share a similar experience from my side. So I was a member of this club back in 2021. So we're still reeling under the impact of COVID. And of course, most of us, if not all of us, were doing it online. But then slowly, when people, went back to in-person meetings, I kind of felt that virtual meetings will not be as impactful as they will used to be back in COVID times. But then I'm born again believer in the power of virtual meetings, and here I am again. Not to say that the in-person meetings are not also an important part, but I would rather say that having presence with an international audience and speakers gives you an extra dimension to your style of speaking and adds a fine touch to your portfolio and repertoire of speaking. So I'm so glad that PGL continue to thrive despite the many challenges of having an online only club. And I'm glad to be back and contribute to the club.
Great.
I also have a question to Gavin. Gavin is a barrier. I'm wondering now, how many times have you done? Have you reached 100? And how many more speeches do you need to do to reach 100?
I must be closing in on 80 now. I have my 100th speech planned. I know where I'm going to be doing that. And that's actually where I gave the first speech at Centennial, which by chance is like 5 minutes from the new world headquarters for Toastmasters International. But it's like filling that gap. That's the hard part. And as we go through with so many hurdles and obstacles, both getting into clubs, but also with my health, it's one of those things of the harder the journey, the more rewarding it is when we finally achieve it. The problem comes is not losing heart and giving up before you cross that line.
Thank you, Kevin. Wow. Wish you all the best. Wish you all the best. Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks. Somesh, any more?
Very good. It's been really profound in terms of all the things that have been shared here. So thank you very much, everyone, for sharing and continuing the discussion. Tommy, you were going to say something?
No, I was just getting myself ready. I thought you were closing in, so I was getting myself ready to say, have a lovely week, everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll stop the recording and we'll just take a quick picture and then